Hey gang, how's it going? Welcome back to Beneath the Bark Joinery. I cut these slabs here off my using my chainsaw, and I am going to make another table tray out of this. So what I'm gonna do actually is go from beginning to end, from me cutting these out, how to freehand saw these boards out of a log, and I'll show you some other techniques to make that a little easier and what to do from there to make that into a beautiful slab like this. Granted, this is walnut and that is cherry, but still, it is fantastic. Matter of fact, let me show you this cherry slab into that. And then as you can see here, I used my router, sled, and table to router it down, and we'll get into that with these slabs. Not these particular ones, but the same cherry ones. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, questions, concerns, anything. Love all of you. Thank you very much. Now that you've got your log picked out, you went and hiked through the woods, or you got it from a friend or whatever, get your chainsaw started up. Watch a video if you don't know how, but if you don't know how to use a chainsaw, I probably wouldn't be milling my lumber with it. And maybe you can learn. Anyhow, what I'm going to do is just what I already did was marked a line with a chalk line, a straight line down the middle, or actually rather about an inch away from the end. So I'm cutting an inch thick board, and I'm just going to mark that line with my chainsaw and continue to go down it just like that with just a couple front part of the chain. And from what I've heard and from my experience, the less chain you use, actually the better it is, because it's not getting so clogged up with wood chips. Now, don't quote me on that. I'm not a professional timbersman or anything. I just like to cut wood to get it for free. And as you're seeing here, I'm just going to continue to drive that blade up and down, following that line, bite it in a little on the end, and make sure to watch that it doesn't angle and thicken out at the edges. And here's those logs I cut. Pretty nice. They're a little rough, so we're going to plane them, sand them, get them ready for use. And we'll be able to use them here in this project. But yeah, you see they're a little rough, but we'll get them cleaned up. When I'm getting ready to do a river or anything like that, I like to try to get it as naturally looking as I can. So I noticed there was a split in this wood, so I put it in my vise. And what I'm going to do is get my hammer and flat bar and just try to snap that down the middle naturally. And I think that always gives the river the best look. You can always cut it with the jigsaw or whatever you want, but I like this method the best, especially if you're trying to splinter wood. And here I am just using my wood mallet to put a flathead screwdriver in there to get it, and there it is. And then you can see there's my daughter Nirvana in the background, trying to learn how to work on some wood projects like her dad. So yeah, we're just messing around. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to make sure that my tabletop that I'm using as a router table is level. So I'm gonna get my 4-footer, check the top and bottom, and then each angle left and right to make sure it's level. Got my router slide here, the sled, and my router with the fixed base. It's a plunge router, but I just get it to where I need it, lock it in, and every pass, once I get back to the other side, I lower it maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. And this is just some angle iron with a 1x2 screwed together, 1x2 there, and then a 1x2 on the bottom of the rail to catch it, and it hits the 2x4, so that way the whole sled doesn't slide off. And you're just going to continue to make passes back and forth to thin that board out. Getting my rough sawn board underneath, and as you can see, it's actually raising my sled up a little bit. So what I was going to do is try to knock that end down that's higher up, because that's holding my sled up. Oh, and right here I'm gonna screw these little board. Doesn't really matter, but that's the width I want this board to end up being. So I'm gonna screw some 1x2s here on the edge, on the top edge of the board and the bottom edge to hold it in place. And then if you need to, you can also put it on the sides of that board as well to keep it secure. So you see here it's not moving. And right now I'm just focusing on that one corner that's high because, like I said, it's keeping my sled up. So I want to just knock that down real quick. Once I get that knocked down, then I can secure my sled on top of my rails. So then I can knock the highest point down to the lowest point and keep it all at that low point. So I took the sled and the router off, and I'm just using my chisels now, just because that's that one section. So I'm just chiseling away, flattening that just enough that my sled can fit down, because then I put the height of the bit at the lowest point and knock it all down. And if it's too high, just take it down little by little. As you can see here, you're just going one pass at a time. So if the lowest point is too much for your bit, raise it up and just knock a little bit down at a time, like I'm doing here, because that's actually what I had to do. The high point was so high, it would have been about at least a ½ inch, and I did not want to gouge my router that deep. So I raise it up, and as you can see, it's just flattening that out. Continuing to do the same thing here. I'm taking probably an 1/8 of an inch, maybe a 1/4 inch at most at a time. And I have a 2-inch wide flattening bit, so it's quite a bit of material being taken off. So that's why I don't like to go too deep. Some people like to go deep. But you can see here, it's just taking it all down, flattening out, making that board look beautiful. And when I got done with that, it leaves a bit of lines in your board from the router going back and forth. So I just get my hand planer out, sharpen it up on the strop, and I'm just gonna take some of this down here. I like using this planer. It takes a lot of material out. It's a number 4 jack plane. Clean it off, dust it off, make sure your piece is cleaned up, or all that stuff's just gonna get in the way and be annoying. So I continue just plane here, getting all those marks out, and whenever you're happy with your piece and you got it down to the thickness you're ready to start making your mold, sanding your piece down, getting it ready for pouring the epoxy. So that's what we're going to do, is make a mold, get that river ready, and go from there. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment. If you have any questions, concerns, let me know. Thanks for watching Beneath the Bark Joinery. Have a great day, everybody.